Hello, beautiful souls. This is Diane Lang from Wisdom of the Akashics on Monday, May 8th, and I'm here with Rachel Hart. Rachel, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. You can hear me. We are off to a better start than we've been having because we've actually been at this since about 10 to 8 for those of you that are online with us and listening. And so I'm Diane Lang from Wisdom of the Akashics. I'm a soul mentor, a soul transformation mentor and advanced Akashic record consultant. Rachel has been working with me in my Awaken Your Inner Goddess program. She's actually come through level 1, and we're going to have a chat tonight about the program, how it helped her, what she learned by working in the Akashic records, and really just what an fabulous experience that we have had working together. So I just want anyone that is watching, if you are there, you can send us a note and we will be able to see your chats and also say hi, and we'll say hi back. So welcome, Rachel.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Awesome to have you here. So Rachel and I actually met last fall.
Yeah, last fall.
Yeah, through my YouTube channel. And then I did some work with her, and then she came back and wanted to go a little bit further into things. She's actually has put an amazing testimonial up some time ago as to how the work has assisted her. And then we kept going through the records, and we advanced into some of the higher level of information. She learns all about her soul and what her soul specializations are, what her, that yummy juicy sauce is that I always talk about when I introduce people to the Akashic records. So Rachel, kind of just go back to where we met, because you kind of have a cool story around that, and just even the energy work that we started out with, and how you found that beneficial.
Yeah, I have a really cool story. In 2015, I actually had a really good spiritual experience, and I was trying to figure it all out. I was searching YouTube, trying to figure, if there's any teachers out there that would help me, and I came across Diane's videos. I started watching it. I was like, that is the lady that I want to work with. So I hired her for a twin flame clearing, and immediately I started feeling the energies, and I thought that she had done the clearing first and she hadn't. So I knew definitely something was there. So I had an amazing time with talking to her back and forth, and a couple months goes by and everything falls apart. And then I start creating my own business. And then the coach that she worked for, actually, I saw her video, and then they did a webinar for the Akashic Records. And so I was like, I want to do the Akashic Records. And that's how we came full circle.
That's how we started, yeah, where we got right into an actual program working together. So let me ask you, I'll just ask you a couple different things. When you came to anyone that comes to the Akashic Records, I always say, you're at a place and a time where you're ready to really resonate with, sorry, I'm knocking my desk, I have to keep my hands down. You're resonating with, how to be authentic, how to be aligned with your soul's purpose, how to use your highest gifts, how to bring them into the world and share them with the world and all of that. And so when you learned, like when we first had the first kind of just the initial soul realignment reading, what did you find from that? What resonated for you, and how did you find that assisted you?
Well, I knew right away it was dead on. There was a lot of things that you knew that I was already curious about and had the intention to find out. After the clearing, we just started working through things. And one thing I really liked that you said, it was about being authentic, is owning your story and not being ashamed of it. And kicking the shame to the curb, no matter what you've done in the past, it starts from like a 0 point. So it starts from now.
Yes, thanks for sharing that part, because a lot of people, that's actually where we can get really stuck, is on what we feel our past mistakes have been, things that we didn't feel we managed very well. And it's as if to say, well, we did it in this lifetime, so we need to stay punished for it in this lifetime, versus recognizing everything is just a way to create awareness that can allow us to make a different choice the next time we get to have that choice or something similar to it. So when you were in the Akashic Records, and we actually kind of started, we always start out with that kind of the good stuff about the soul. We get into the blocks and restrictions, and then we get into the creation aspect. So you took the Akashic Records and started to apply it to the program and to develop something that you wanted to develop authentic from your soul. So how have you found that assisted you in kind of, we've really just got the framework and the beginnings of your business, and you're now going to go put that into action. So how did you find that align with what it is you wanted to do?
Well, I knew that that my soul is very old and spiritual, and I knew that I wanted to help someone. And so going through the program, I remember you saying there was a part that had loyalty, and I remember that I wanted to share that with the world. I wanted to share authenticity. I wanted to share that just authentic love to yourself and empowerment. So I was able to use a lot of my gifts to create a program that would allow me to do that. That's more soul aligned.
Yes. And did you find that when you kind of got that information about what your, those divine gifts are, and that they resonated for you in a really strong way, that, kind of, do you find that when you get that information, it kind of does help address those doubts and fears and things like that, because you just really resonate with it?
Yes, definitely. It's on a soul level, so you're working with soul level information. So it's the core of who you are. So when you start working from that frame of mind, everything that you create is just going to blossom into something greater, because it's within your soul, within you.
Mm-hmm. And did you find also, Rachel, when we looked at Akashic Records, we look at past lives also. And of course, most people that don't, if they didn't have a belief in a past life, they just wouldn't be attracted to the Akashic Records. And it's something I've believed in my whole life since I was a little kid, and it didn't really fit into the framework of my family or religion, but I just always inherently felt it was true. I didn't really fight that. I never believed that we came to the earth once and kind of got I call it the one kick at the incarnation cat. I just didn't believe that that's all you would get in the existence of the universe. Did you find addressing that past life stuff and those things that did come up about that we carried forward helped you make some shifts in your present life?
Yeah, I did. When you're doing a lot of the clearing and stuff, you're unloading a lot of the baggage from your soul, and so you start to feel a little lighter and more carefree, and everything starts to really just come together.
Did you find that you found that it started to shift some of the relationships and how I remember when we were first starting to work together about kind of, getting into that place where you're standing up for yourself, you're speaking your mind, you're speaking your truth, you're not going to willing to stay small anymore and stuff like that. You had a couple really cool circumstances around some of those things.
I did. I came from a family who, like you, Diane, that was very strict and the Bible and the traditional churches. And when I was going through the Akashic Records, I had my husband who was very doubtful, and our relationship started to crumble because of that. But throughout the clearings and working with Diane, our relationship has gotten a lot stronger. And other relationships too, my work relationships, as well as my friendships with a lot of other people. And I found that if you work on yourself and your soul level, everything else, like I said, comes together, and everything that's not meant to be falls away.
Yeah, and it kind of lets you it kind of gives you a way to have that little more kind of deeper faith in things, would you say? I know for me that was very, very true.
Yeah, it solidifies a lot of what I already knew about myself, but I was very scared to even explore it because of the shame that a lot of people have put onto the new age spirituality, going from the traditional type. So I was very, very scared to dive into it at first, but my soul just kept pushing me, pushing and pushing. And I listened, and I'm so glad I did.
We talk about that a lot when when I work with clients in the Akashic Records. This is really about empowering your soul to really show up as who you truly are, which everyone is their own unique snowflake. We're all different. We all have inherent gifts. We all have natural things about us. A lot of times with our gifts, we don't think they're special because they're actually so easy for us. And that's where we look at that and go, no, that's where you go run with that because it's not difficult for you. And then, there are things where a lot of people can get caught up in thinking they need to do it all alone. And that's why I tell people I've always been coached. You've come into a coaching program. You're developing a program that you're taking out into the world for people and sharing your gifts that way. And what would you say that you got? How did that information kind of give you? Did you find you got quite empowered to really want to get that program going?
Yes, I did. I actually just using my gifts and knowing my gifts helped me create something that was so special to me. And even now I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I created that because it was authentic and it was me. It was all part of who I am. And
it's funny because I'm just hearing something about when we were working together. You had worked with some information before and you kind of started to develop it and then you got a little bit off thinking, no, it wasn't that, we can get a lot of seeds planted in our head about, no, you can't do this or people aren't going to do that. And it's so easy to buy in, especially if we run any doubt or we have any fears. And you know what? Entrepreneurs can't. Nobody can go entrepreneurial without having fears and doubts and things be scary. And, until you've had I always say, if you haven't had an experience, how can you have an opinion of the experience? Right. So we have to try things. And I think what happens is when you get into that where you really recognize that the authenticity part of you and you recognize, but this is a gift and this is natural for me, then you can start to you get coaching and you listen to coaching, but you also have to always apply it to your soul. And that's something I'd say we work a lot on, isn't it?
Yeah. And I loved working with the Akashic Records because it was all about my soul. It wasn't some just cookie cutter kind of program. It was just all about me and who I was at the core level and how I can shine outward via my soul into helping others and others grow and stay empowered and become empowered if they've lost their way.
That's awesome. I mean, I've just watched you blossom, and I know there was different times than when we would get on our calls and I was just like, I was watching her transform. I was watching her get brighter in her eyes and her color and her face, coming to the call, sitting up, all of that stuff. And so that's why I always tell people when we start, a lot of the stuff that's running in the background is the shame and is the something that we've done. And it might not even be from this lifetime. And some of it's even from genealogy. And so I think one of the things, and the reason I always start out saying, we never bring shame or blame to the story because it's what's perpetuated why we're having trouble, why we are feeling afraid to put ourselves out there, especially in the spiritual world where you're going to start saying, I'm a life coach, I'm a spiritual life coach, I'm a mentor, this and that, because they're still kind of like, is that a real job? And it's like, damn right, it's a real job. And I get so empowered by the help that we get, when we get to something and you can see that aha moment take place in somebody's face, for example. Now, let me ask you, because I just got another memory, was we had one day where I was kind of passing some information on to you that wasn't really comfortable, or we got a little bit like, it was like, that was a tough day. But I remember and I knew it because as a coach, and I want anybody to know that is coaching, you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to face your client and say, look, this pattern isn't helping you or whatever it is, because we don't get paid to be passive, to pacify our clients. Right. So what do you kind of remember about that? Because it's coming up for a reason. So
So I had a coach that was really great, and not to say I'm any other coach, but it just didn't feel so authentic to me. It just felt like really cookie cutter. Everybody had the same program, and I wanted to be super perfect. I wanted to have like the perfect website, the perfect using the perfect formula, and Diane called me on my bullshit. Pretty much, just called me straight out, and my ego got bruised. And she's like, "Your gifts are authentic, and so redo this." And I was really happy about that, and I was really blessed to have her extend an offer for me for another coaching session. And I went home, in my room, and I was like, I don't know how to do this anymore. But then I could have let my ego get to me, and I didn't. I just said, you know what, she's right, let's go and rework it. And then once I took a step back from all of that, then I was able to look at it and say, she's just doing it out of love, not out of, just not being mean to me.
And the one thing that I want to compliment you on is, first of all, you when we get information we don't like, it's like, that's the reason we go. Where if everything was in perfect order, we don't hire coaches when everything's in perfect order. Typically we hire it because there's some way we want to grow or expand, challenge ourselves and do something different. And I want to tell you and thank you, because the entire time I worked with Rachel, she showed up for the work. She showed up for the appointments. If she had tasks to do in between, she was sending them out to me within days. We were evaluating the information. And then after that particular experience, because even as a coach, it's like, wow, I know I kind of upset her today, but she got on the next day, she sent me a note and she's like, thank you. And then she thanked me for that. And that's when I want you to understand that soul empowerment. Is when we get given something that doesn't really suit our story, we don't really want to hear it that way, but we go back and we own it and we go, yeah. And then doing what we're doing, if we're not getting the result, we want to be doing something different anyways.
Right.
We all know that story about if you're just repeating something over and over again, it's really illogical to expect a different result from the same actions. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about what you are launching out there for everybody and what you've kind of started to develop in.
So I have a coaching program called Catapult into Self-Love and Self-Empowerment. And I will be launching it very soon. But it's a self-empowerment and women's empowerment movement that's more authentic to who you really are. It's taking challenging things. You're going to acknowledge who you are.
Rachel, your audio's coming in and out a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Now I just have to sit up a little closer or something.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So the coaching program that I created is Catapult Yourself into Self-Love and Self-Empowerment. And I did that because I always believe that you should be authentic and who you are. There's empowerment. The feminine movement's coming on board right now, and not in the movement of shove men out the way. It's more from the heart-centered. It's more heart-centered and more. It's more challenging your beliefs, acknowledging who you are. It's tapping into sabotaging patterns that can get stuck. It's making peace with your past and acknowledge it, understanding what has brought you to this point in your life. And it's learning techniques to grow within your soul and be empowered. And it's also transformation. It's a soul and a heart transformation program.
I'm going to get you to turn your audio down a little bit, hon, because now we have a full echo.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Just keep talking because I want to make sure the echo goes away.
So the program will be launching pretty soon, so I'm super excited about it. And I took it from just my heart, and I just took what I knew from my heart and from my experience with Diane, and I wanted to share what I learned to create something to help other people transform it too. And I chose Catapult because I working with Diana, it was just 8 weeks, but it was just like a Zoom. It was catapulting. I went from like just sitting here like really quiet to like just being really super empowered. It shows up in my work, It shows up in my relationships. It shows up every time I meet somebody. They're like, you have light in your eyes and all around you. So the experience was so awesome. It was so wonderful.
Thank you. And I mean, that's what you look for when you're a coach. You look for that experience that somebody's had, and we're totally getting an echo. So try turning your audio down just a little bit more. So I'm sure we'll still come through fine. So I want to just ask you one thing, because two things that they're kind of giving me right now is one of the reasons we talk a lot about not being cookie cutter is because when somebody goes into any program, I don't care what program it is, who the coach is or whatever, we always have to remember to take the information that works for us and then apply it to ourselves. Because one of the weaknesses that happens a lot, and I get a lot of coaches that come to me, and I get a lot of coaches in other programs that come to me, because they're only getting so far. And part of it is that they're trying to just be like another mirror version of the coach versus taking the really good information that you're learning and apply to yourself. So we talked a lot about that in the beginning. And when I talk to anybody about my program, that's one I think that you were just talking about. It's really because it boils down, it's about you and how do you go out into the world. So it doesn't really matter what how gives us as to a way to market. We still have to do it authentic to ourself. So, and that was one thing that I really saw where you made a real shift was saying, no, yeah, I'm going to take any information that I learn, and then we learned it, but here's what you want to do, and then here's your gift in doing it.
Right.
Would you say that actually helped you a lot?
Yes, definitely. I like this program because, like I said it before, it's from your soul.
Yes.
So nobody can be you and your soul but you. And so that's what I love about the program. And you're diving into who you truly are, not versus, who other people are showing up and showing you how to be.
And giving you an exact map, because their exact map can never be my exact map. Right? That's why it's always like get information and then we just kind of course correct and adjust all the time. So the other thing is one thing that I think you really learned that you got a lot honed in on is one of my gifts is I'm an intuitive channel. So in addition to having, studies and doing the Akashic records, I'm an intuitive. So I get a lot of information for people. And that's something that, again, it's really specific. It's specific to you. When I'm in a session with you, that information is very specific to you. And I noticed a big difference in how you were starting to really heighten your intuitiveness and listen to it really, really differently from the beginning. And like you said, we were just 8-9 weeks together. So what can you say about that? Because that was really awesome to watch.
Well, I've always been highly intuitive, and I wasn't for sure, like, when you go in your daily life, you have a lot of people that tell you can't do that, or you can't do this is impossible, and there's so much information online that you second guess yourself. And so part of this program allowed me to do is just take my intuitive gifts, run with it, heighten it a lot more, and trust myself, trust what was getting and what was coming to me. And I never did that before. I always hid from it. Like, this is the first time I ever said twin flame on video. So I'm owning my story, and that's what this program does. It helps you to own your story, own who you are. And so I'm owning my intuitive gifts. I'm talking about it more on my Facebook groups and online, and you're not caring what other people say. And that's really soul empowerment right there.
That's exactly right. And hats off to you. Like I said, it's been such a delight. There's so much more we can do in the Akashic records. They are literally just a fountain of endless information for us. And I'm even I'm up leveling some information that I'm taking right now in the Akashic Records. And that's really exciting, because anything that I do, it just becomes something else you can help your client with. But I want to tell everybody that, those of you that are, especially that if you have that area of your life and there's some things about, you want to get really aligned with self-love, because that's usually the break for most of us, is there's something about ourselves. We're just not feeling that deep self-love. We're not feeling the worthiness and stuff like that. And that, Rachel's gifts and what Rachel has to bring to her courses and the programs that she's going to be launching, she'd be an absolute delight to work with. I see a transformation, and I see it from, I even think if we would have had this conversation straight out of the gate versus now, and how different that I see you kind of really step up into your gift and step up into the ownership of, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I'm going to present it. And so you guys stay on top of Rachel's work. And what's the name of your Facebook group, Rachel?
It's Catapult into Self-Empowered Women.
Okay, so that's her Facebook group, so you can find her there. And she's part of I also have a private group called the Aha Momentum. This is actually for women entrepreneurs, and anyone really, we call it kind of daily soul food for the soulful. We're always talking about different things about how to look at life and how to, better, kind of come out and be accountable, understand the laws of attraction, the laws of vibrational match. Every Tuesday, I do it Tear 'em Down Tuesdays. We find some useless old belief system that's not working for anybody, and we talk about that. And, you guys are welcome. Any women that are watching are welcome to reach out and come to the Aha Momentum. And I want to thank Rachel. I look forward to working with you more in the future. You've just been a gift to me, and I think it speaks to both of us. As far as the law of attraction goes, this is my delight in having someone like Rachel come and work with me, and then knowing that she's now going to take and impart her gift to others. So God bless you. Thank you for coming forward. Thank you for offering to do the testimonial, and the beautiful testimonial that you wrote me. I mean, that's when I don't even try not crying when things like that happen, because that's just my sensitive soul. But it really meant a lot to me for you to share your story and to share it with everyone here. And so I think we're going to hope the audio turned out really well. We did get online together today, because we did kind of attempt this on Saturday, but always in that place of trusting that, it's meant to be when it's meant to be. And God bless you, and thank you. Thank you so much for the work. And anyone that is interested in the Akashic Records and my Soul Empowerment Program, Level 1, you can go to wisdomoftheakashics.com. /soul empowerment, I believe, or empowered. Geez, I should know this. Anyways, I'll put it on the Facebook page. And if anybody is interested, I do offer 20-minute, 30-minute discovery sessions, so we can talk about how that they may be of benefit to you. So God bless Rachel, and thank your hubby there for helping us get the audio and everything going. And we'll be keeping in touch all the time for sure, because we do anyway. So God bless everyone. Good night, you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.